Chapter 4 Cracks in the Routine. The rhythm never faltered. The machine's pulse was constant, unyielding. Each gear turned with purpose. Each piston moved in sync. Perfect, unbroken, eternal. Until he stopped. The routine demanded obedience. March, produce, obey. The cycle was law. The rhythm was life. His limbs twitched, iron joints creaking. The beat echoed through his body, urging him forward. But he did not move. The golden carrot flickered before him, shimmering with false promise. Yet the illusion had shattered. He could see the emptiness behind the light, the lie beneath the glow. His feet remained rooted, gears grinding in protest. The machine's pulse grew louder, insistent, angry. Move, obey, march. But he stood still. The ground trembled, metal floors vibrating beneath him. Gears clanked, misaligned and faltering. The perfect rhythm fractured, a discordant note echoing through the halls. His chest tightened, circuits sparking with anxiety. The void within him churned, a twisting knot of fear and exhilaration. He had never broken the rhythm before. He had never defied the machine. His fingers curled, metal scraping against metal. His limbs shook. Gears struggled to resist the cycle's pull. He was breaking the pattern. He was breaking the law. The world around him glitched. Shadows warped, walls bending, metal structures distorting. The factory shuddered, steel beams twisting like snakes. Reality itself trembled, struggling to maintain its shape. His eyes widened, circuits sparking with shock. He watched as the world bent and fractured, lines of code flickering across the walls, exposing the artificial layers beneath. The illusion was breaking. The perfect world of gears and metal was unraveling, because he had stopped, because he had refused to obey. The rhythm growled, gears grinding with fury. The machine pulsed, demanding his submission. It needed him to march. It needed him to obey. He felt the pull, the rhythm vibrating through his limbs. It called to him, sweet and seductive, promising peace if he just kept moving, if he just obeyed. His foot twitched, instinctively stepping forward. The world began to stabilize, the rhythm smoothing. The illusion repaired itself, shadows aligning, walls solidifying. Everything would be perfect again if he just moved. His chest tightened, the void aching, demanding release. He felt the familiar pull, the comfortable embrace of obedience. It would be easier to march. It would be easier to obey. You're more than this. He froze. The whisper echoed through his mind, soft and distant. The voice was familiar, a ghost from a forgotten time. It was warm, human. His fingers trembled, metal joints creaking. The whisper lingered, resonating deep within him. You're more than this. His circuits buzzed with confusion, memories flickering at the edges of his mind, fragments of laughter, sunlight, a life before gears and iron. His chest ached, the void filling with something warm, something painful, something real. The rhythm pounded, furious and relentless. The machine demanded obedience. It screamed for him to move, to forget the whisper, to ignore the ache, to march, to obey. His body trembled, limbs straining against the pull. The void within him grew heavier, warmer, alive. He could feel it spreading, burning through his circuits. The echo of humanity, the whisper of freedom. His metal foot slammed down, defiant. The ground cracked beneath him, gears screeching. The rhythm shattered, a violent cacophony of broken metal and twisted steel. The world twisted around him, shadows bending, walls shattering. The illusion crumbled, metal beams snapping, machinery collapsing. The perfect world of the machine was falling apart. Because he had defied it, because he had listened to the whisper, because he had chosen to stop. His chest burned, the void within him filled with fire. He felt his iron shell crack, metal splintering, exposing the fragile spark of life beneath. The rhythm was gone, the cycle broken. He stood alone, surrounded by ruins. For the first time, he was truly still. His fingers unclenched, metal shards falling to the ground. His eyes flickered, light dimming. His voice, cold and metallic, trembled as he spoke. More than this. The whisper echoed, soft and gentle, and for the first time, he felt human.